Yeah, I think, you got to be like analytical and rational. You got to properly analyze the whole picture, and realize Charlie Z, he's just a human being that needs proper guidance, he needs like to have his true deep down inner character realized. He needs to really find his deep inner meaning, his purpose in life, his calling, needs needs to do something that's gonna build his inner character, who he really is deep down inside, because somebody like that's got to realize that eventually, his body's going to get a lot older, and he's really not going to feel like fighting anymore, And, I mean, eventually there is going to be people. They're gonna, they're gonna teach him a lesson in the ring, Yeah, it's bound to happen, I mean, I've already seen his humbling fights, against what was it, Dijon? Is that the guy's name? Dijon Daniels, the one that I guess he MMA. I guess he's like an MMA fighter. He was supposedly only a teenager. I think I heard he was only 16 or something. If that's the case, I guess he's a really early bloomer, because if I seen the dude in person, I would never think he was only 16. I would think that dude was like probably early 20s, But yeah, I mean, his Dijon, he had really good boxing and wrestling as well, because I mean, when they were boxing, he kept countering Zelenoff. Just drinking my water. He kept countering him, throwing those check left hooks. He was like, he had good foot movement, and he kept throwing those like check hooks and kept countering Zelenoff. So he really boxed Zelenoff's ears off. I mean, from what I seen. And then Zelenoff was, running out of the ring because, he was getting tired, and then when he came back in and they were boxing some more, Dijon was, he's doing the same thing, just boxing his ears off, and then he popped him in the nose, and then he said, "I broke your nose," and then shortly after that, Zelenoff was, stepping out of the ring because he was winded, he doesn't have stamina, and then like Dijon wanted to humble him some more, because I guess he was annoyed and irritated at Zelenoff not seeming to learn his lesson, like he just staying in denial, and Dijon was understandably annoyed about that, So he started, wanting to do the MMA stuff on him, so he started wrestling him, and I mean, he was wearing his boxing gloves too. I mean, Dijon was, so you can only do so much, with those boxing gloves. You can't really wrestle nearly as good wearing those big puffy boxing gloves, they weren't MMA gloves, obviously. And nevertheless, he took Zelenoff right down, slammed him, choked him out, I mean, it was like, wow, dude is a well-rounded technician of martial arts, mixed martial arts, he's a real good boxer and real good wrestler. He should definitely be a pro MMA combative competitor. Definitely, I see a lot of potential there with Dijon, whether he chooses just boxing or MMA. You know, you could see the dude, he's well-rounded. Dude knows his stuff, you know. Definitely see a lot of potential there. His weight class, judging from what I've seen on the film, he looks like he's probably in the low 200s, I would think. So I guess he would be a light heavyweight in MMA or a small heavyweight in boxing. So whatever he chooses, you know, I think he'd be good. You know, no doubt, you know, pretty impressive stuff. But anyway, also, as far as Zelenoff, that guy, Mario or whatever that he fought, that guy said it was, he was 180 pounds, and he was like throwing all those wingy, sloppy hook punches at Zelenoff, and apparently he got in a good body shot. It was kind of like a delayed reaction with Zelenoff. He just all of a sudden stepped away. He was walking away. He was bent over. So, I mean, the dude obviously got him good in the gut, you know, knocked the wind out of him. So, I mean, that right there was a TKO or DQ. So, yeah, there you go. And then, what else? Obviously, you know, Wilder, Deontay Wilder. I seen all that and everything. It's really unfortunate with all that. You know, it's very shameful how Zelenoff called him on the phone and was saying all that crazy, idiotic stuff. You know, it's really unfortunate that transpired. You know, on that note, I don't even know if I could work with Zelenoff. I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know if I could work with him, you know, on all that, from what I've seen, you know. Yeah, it just, I don't know. But anyway, let me just get back to the other fights I've seen Zelenoff in. That one dude that had the BoxRec shirt and had a Mike Tyson picture on it, and he was throwing a lot of left hooks on Zelenoff, and it looked like he outpointed Zelenoff, you know, but Charlie Z, you know, he called that a win, you know, so there you go. And then that dude in the basketball court that, you know, nailed Zelenoff with a good punch, and then Charlie Z called the timeout, and he was saying, you know, basketball court, let's finish in the basketball court. You know, it's so obvious. You know, he was calling a timeout. It was his code word for, you know, I need a timeout, saying basketball court. Let's finish in the basketball court. You know, he needed a timeout because he got rocked. So there you go. I mean, this is what I've seen of Charlie Zelenoff. And yet he calls himself undefeated, you know, because he's really in denial. He doesn't want to face up to reality. He doesn't want to own up to the realistics. You know, obviously reality hurts too much to this guy. It's, you know, it's too brutal. The truth is too brutal and harsh for this guy to realize and own up to. You know, he can't face the brutal truth. You know, he needs to work on building his character, though. Start out, you know, first things first, get a job, you know. Something with a lot of physical exercise, you know, and keep working on that cardio, you know. You know, do your road work, you know, you're jogging, get a treadmill, get one of those climber things they advertise. I forget what it's called. You know, work on cardio. I gotta cut it.